It's not my intention to mince the words you've said prior. I love them all. And I realize that even your brilliant answer to this, I can't even imagine the impact it would have on my experience. But I've heard you say that in the moment of our asking, Source gives undivided attention to what we've asked for. And I've also heard you say that...
undivided, isn't that a good word? Undivided,
yeah.
meaning not watered down,
Yes.
not weakened, undivided attention, undivided,
Yes.
powerful attention, focus.
I love that, yeah. And I've also heard you say, usually when referring to someone who's asking a question about a loved one who's passed, I've heard you say that Source has the ability to focus in many places at once. So my question would be, I was just trying to kind of make sense of that.
Well, you know how you have the ability to think about a lot of different things. You are a multifaceted being, even as you are here focused in this body. So here we are focused together, and you're sitting in a chair having a conversation with who knows what. Hard to define. And yet you could be doing a lot of other things. You could be thinking about a lot of other things. But you are choosing to focus here and now. And it's not so different. In other words, focus is focus. When we talk about being specifically focused upon what is not wanted, let's go there just for a little bit. And beating the drum of it and activating it so that law of attraction brings you more to focus upon, more people to talk about it with, more details about it. There is no ending to the way a subject can morph into more, because thoughts are being gathered, and as thoughts are gathered, some of the thoughts are close enough to one another that they enhance or embellish each other. Some of the thoughts are varied just a little bit, so it causes you to think slightly differently, but the thoughts are expanding, and your ability to keep pace with the thoughts is really quite remarkable, because you have the ability to move from thought to thought, and you have the ability to bring the thoughts together. You have the ability to cognitively figure out which thoughts match and which thoughts don't. In other words, it is an amazing thing, this brilliant mind function that you have, and this incredible law of attraction thing that's going on. It's really amazing how much you are able to understand or perceive or understand is the best word, conclude. Well, Source, in its infinite focus, because it has been focused similarly for so long, has become an expert at focusing upon well-being in all that it means. And so, rather than trying to explain what well-being means, in other words, so Source is wanting to explain to you what well-being means. And Source could talk about the specifics of the Earth spinning in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets, could talk about the physics, could talk about the molecular structure of your anatomy. In other words, there are so many details that Source could talk about, especially with those of you who have developed the vocabulary and the expertise that make it possible for those thoughts to be explained in that way. Or Source could just know well-being with such profound clarity that your space and environment, meaning your physical body and your attention, would just be permeated with this feeling of love and well-being, which is an understanding that goes beyond verbal description or mental acuity. It's just a knowing that is deep, but you got to say also it's a knowing that could be explained as general. So Source has this knowing of well-being, but also the ability to specifically focus. Now this ties in magnificently with what we were talking about in the earlier opening words that we were offering here, that you are the leading edge of that which is source. So when you understand that source is flowing to and through everything that exists, and everything that exists is perceiving and having a perceptual experience, and that source has the ability to perceive it all simultaneously. But here's something, we love giving this to you. We're just going to enjoy it ourselves for just a minute. When you factor in that source has been tuning to the well-being of everything through all of this, then the majority of the clutter that man thinks is knowledge is not hindering source. You follow that just a little bit? In other words, source knows the integrity of your physical body, and source knows the balance of this planet, and source knows that food is growing, and so source doesn't need to go to the details of all of that because it's already set in motion. So source just knows life is good. But source through you will explore contrast and will come to a new awareness that it could be better. That's source through you. But source through you in knowing in other words, as you know what you don't want and you know what you do want, the source that we mean as source goes immediately to the what is wanted and focuses there. And waits for whatever part of you decide to join the party of well-being, you see. And because you come and go as you do, more of you are in alignment with well-being than are not. You're croaking like flies, did you know? New ones are coming in. In other words, there's just this magnificent balance of well-being that you too could tune into anytime that you want to. So we know we didn't quite get all the way to what you're getting at, but it's a really good basis. So now what you got?
Nothing. That's it.
The best way to tune into the infinite intelligence of that which is source is to get so general in your thought that there's not a chance that you're contradicting it. That's why meditation is so delicious. So when you quiet your mind, there's no resistance, and you are just then absorbed into this vortex where you now have the frequency of that which is source. And then from that perspective, manifestations will become apparent to you that demonstrate the alignment that you have achieved.
Great.
Something more?
No. Thank you.